Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Etcetera with the Woodards. I'm your host for the evening, Craig Woodard Sr., and this is episode 29. Joining me is my road dog, my cousin, my better half right here, man. We do this show together. We've been doing it together here for the last 2 months. Deontay Cooley. Deontay, thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, man. You know me, always glad to be here. Always glad to have a conversation and discussion, man, to bring some clarity to, what it is we got going on.
Absolutely, man. And you bring a really good perspective, especially having boots on the ground, being at all the meetings up there, and your opinion is valued, appreciated, and respected in the city of Erie as well. So, wanted to start off when we talk about having boots on the ground. Yesterday, for a rare city council meeting, they started at 9 a.m. yesterday, and I know the crowd size during that time of the day may be a little less. It's day 64 for us, talking about since Marcello Woodard was shot and killed by his parole officer, allegedly parole agent. Day 64, and here we have a city council meeting that happened in the morning time, and that didn't stop you from going. D, what was it like? What did it look like down there? What did it feel like? And kind of fill us in on some of the things that you talked about.
Yeah, so it was a normal city council meeting because what they do is they have one in the morning on, the first Wednesday of the month, and then they'll have one in the evening on the third Wednesday of the month. I'm assuming it's to give people, different opportunity to speak to different things, or when they pass different bills or they vote on different regulations and things like that. So there was some pretty heavy ticket items on the agenda. It was about them investing in the Miller Brothers facility, to make it to make it a nice facility for the emergency services, police, and things like that. There was some on the agenda about, they were mentioning police officers off duty taking their cars home. A couple of different things were on the agenda, but again, it was a few folks who came down there to speak to Justice for Cello, and we also shared our opinions as far as what we thought about, with the funds, or if they should invest into that Miller Brothers facility.
Okay. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, no, my fault. My phone was ringing. But yeah, so it was some different folks who came down there to speak to those things as well. And we just kind of talked about, how we felt about it. So within that, I had went live the night before on my own personal Facebook.
Yes.
To kind of just talk about, because 5 minutes isn't enough time.
Right.
So they give you 5 minutes on the meeting. You get to speak to them, and they don't have to necessarily speak back to you. So it's more or less you get the opportunity to address council, speak to your concerns, speak to them based on the things that they, can do, should be doing. And then you go from there. So I just went up to speak to my own concerns as far as what I thought and how I felt about some of the behaviors, the actions, or the lack thereof from some of our elected officials. And also seeking help, seeking support to see, if anybody would be interested and willing to step up for us. And then also what I did was I mentioned some things that I recently noticed on social media. And just kind of let them know, hey, we've been watching you, we've been paying attention to you. How can you help us? What are you going to do? And then also, so I started calling the individuals out, by name. I called out, speaking to Jasmine Flores, speaking to Chuck Nelson. I was speaking to Mo Troop. I was speaking to Mel Witherspoon. And I even spoke for and on behalf of Dr. Tyler Titus. But in the process of me doing that, it was some things that I shouldn't have done. Because again, you got to follow the Robert Rules of Order. There's order in those type of meetings or whatever the case may be. And it gets to the point now to where when I stand up to speak, it's just here he comes again, because I'm coming with some points, and it's to the point now to where people aren't using their voice, people aren't doing enough, they aren't saying enough as elected officials. So, I spoke to the Jasmine Flores thing, and I spoke about this on my live and at the meeting. When she was the president of the city council, she made some statements on her social media that some people who supported Donald Trump didn't agree with. So they went in on her. They came for her on social media. They were in her comments. antagonizing her, coming to the city council meetings, like pretty much. It made national news. Like this was something that went viral because of some of the comments that she made.
Mhm.
So as this was going on, she's posting on social media, "Hey, Erie community, come out, help us, support us, speak to us. These are some of the things that we have going on." So it was at one time, it was a meeting, right?
Mhm.
So it was a bunch of people. They came and they were wearing MAGA hats, the Make America Great Again hats.
Yeah.
And must have been like some campaign for the, Jasmine Flores is of Hispanic descent from Puerto Rico. So some people with Puerto Rico flags down there.
Mhm.
So you have people on this side. It was just, it was so out of order, And at that meeting, I went down there and I spoke, not on the behalf of Jasmine, but I spoke to kind of deter some of the information that was going on because somebody was just shot and killed, and then a group of kids were arrested for that crime. So, I went down there, we spoke, and, kind of like try to shift the momentum. And the people who were down there against her was like literally came out of the room, "Thank you for saying that. We appreciate that." So it was more or less like, now let's build some type of connection.
Yeah.
And there were some people who were anti, Jasmine, and they still was like, no, get her out of here. She shouldn't have made the comments. Okay. So then we go on, and she's get back on social media and she's making more comments to these people. She's addressing them to have another city council meeting.
Right.
And at this point in time, another person had been killed. So I go to the meeting yet again.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys are still talking about this and that. Another person has been killed. Can we get you guys to stop going at each other? Can we get y'all to kind of speak for us, our community, because we are the people who are struggling?
Right.
So, it kind of died down or whatever. So you see, like, when it's election time, you see her, she going back and forth with Britton Davis, or she's going back and forth with Dan Laughlin, and people are supporting her and getting her support for all of that. So she does, and she did have a following, which is why she was able to get so many votes to win through the primary to get to the general. But throughout the process, when you sit in these, these forums, I guess, and they ask you, like, what have you done? What are you going to do? Like, what I said to her was, I've never heard you say anything that you've done or what you're going to do. But what I did notice is you'll go back and forth with people on Facebook when they antagonize your character.
Right.
And when we went to the very first meeting seeking justice and we're asking for the help, she said, well, I was working on, closing on the property. I'm about to close on this house. So I took it as I didn't have time right now, but maybe later. So, okay, you give her the benefit of the doubt. I said it and they're like, sorry for the inconvenience. But I'm still thinking like, that wasn't, something you should have said. So now, we friends on Facebook, watching the Facebook. She talking her house day. She steady talking about this house. Hey, I'm closing. The kid from that young man from the community, he's gonna help me move, pack, clothes. Boom. So now she's in her house. And I'm not saying like she made this public information. So now you're in this house. The whole time she's been packing, moving, closing, saving, whatever she's been doing, we've been seeking justice as we're living our lives. So it was found out that she received money from one organization to close on the property and money from another organization to close on the property. So there are some people who didn't agree with that. And what they did was they released all the information. Hey, she got money from here. She got money from here. So I know she got money from the Sisters of St. Joseph Network. And she also received money from the Erie's Black Wall Street. So people were bringing that up. They posted her they went in, they posted her address, posted the deed being transferred, all of this information. Again, I'm sitting back and waiting. So she makes a status on Facebook like, oh, people are worried about me, so on and so forth. I'm not even going to get them power. I'm not even going to say their names and give them power. So I catch wind of this, like, hold on. So we asked for help. God said you could help or would help. They write a letter. They didn't write the letter. They just signed it. Let's be real. Right. Somebody wrote the letter, signed it. Okay, boom. They felt, maybe it must have felt like that was enough help. But she also said she'd been closing on the house. So I have been watching closely. She closed on the house. All right, it's time to help seek justice. But then again, maybe she's busy. So then when somebody from the other party, the Republican Party, calls her out, like, hold on. So somebody calls her out, and now she has time, and now she has energy to be able to address this and mention these things. To address these things. So it's like, whoa, so now you got time and energy for this. So then I addressed that. And then I also mentioned like the when I posted the Jeremy Lightner's having the event, and we was going back and forth. Chuck Nelson and we were going back and forth. As far as hey, he was giving his opinion. This is what happened. That's what happened. This is what I heard. And I told him like it's you coming off as very arrogant, very cocky, and he has this type of attitude. Work with him, so I was calling him out for that as well. Like in the beginning, you was all for us, but then when we start calling for your friends,
right?
The energy kind of switched up. You kind of shifted gears a little bit. So now it's more or less like I'm speaking to him. But as I was talking to Jasmine, Mel Witherspoon is like, "Sir, he stopped me. You can't speak directly to them." Oh, okay. So I'm not allowed to say their names. He says no. All right, so I proceed. So then I'm like, okay, back to you. So then I say Chuck, and then I say, hold on, not Chuck. Another city council person.
Yep.
So then somebody and he says, hey, I'm like, oh, I can't say her name. I'm like, yeah, okay, boom. So I get off Chuck, and then I said, how is it that our president admitted to shooting someone in the head? And I can say his name here. Mel Witherspoon, our president, admitted to shooting someone in the head, and he's still the president of our city council.
Right.
So you see some of the faces up there like, oh, wow, because I didn't say his name. But I'm like, yeah. And then I also want to know, like, how is it that every single one of you are serving and are okay with serving and allowing him to be your president? I said, that's crazy. And I'm like, and when Sonia Arrington was up there,
yes,
serving as president, she had her issues. Everybody came down there to attack her and antagonize her, and they was okay with it. And they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we can't come and speak to Mel because, he's an elder in the community. He's a leader in the community. He's a black man, whatever the case may be. But you shouldn't be able to say that stuff and still serve as president. That's my opinion. And I honestly believe that should be somewhere in the moral code as far as the rules. So for everybody who's sitting up there, the other 6 council people, they condone that. And then here's another thing. On top of that, I didn't get a chance to say this. He's not supposed to be there. He was appointed to be there. So the mayor appointed him to be there. And the story in the city of Erie is anybody who's 50 years old or anybody who's 50 or older knows this story about Mel. Ed Brzezinski's older than 50, so he knows this story. Joe Schimber's older than 50. He knows this story. Kathy Schaaf is older than 50. She knows this story. Not exactly sure how old Mo Troop is, but he's from the old school to where he knows this short story. So the majority of the council, I will say for sure, based on the statistics and what they say in the streets in the city of Erie, they knew this. So they appointed someone. And again, I'm not trying to hold him to his past, but I didn't ask for that piece of information. So then when you announced this, I brought that to his attention. As we're down here seeking justice, you're bragging about shooting a man and getting away with it. So how can we trust you? And then how is the rest of the council people okay with this?
Right.
So then I was going to Mo Troop, and I'm saying, like, Mo, for you to sit here and I heard that I believe he voted against it, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm like, Mo, we don't need more police in the community. We need to be teaching our kids how to be better people. You work in the schools with them. What are you doing to advocate for the young men who are going to live through this and are going to grow through this and potentially have to deal with this mentally as they mature? Like, it was just a fight outside of the school. You know what I mean? But we have people who serve on city council and who are aware of some of the things that are going on. Who are they doing a good service to our kids, or are they doing a disservice? So I did not say that Mo was not doing anything, but I'm curious to know what he is doing and why he sits there so silently all the time. So I was like, and I'm timing myself because I'm also trying to reiterate the fact that if we can find $52 million, and that's because that was written, to upgrade a police facility and to give them new equipment, and I'm all for it. Listen, we need police in our community, but we also need to be able to police our own community. So can we invest some of those funds that you are finding from wherever to help the people of Erie so that we don't have to continue to think and feel like this type of behavior is okay, to where like we can condone this behavior or it's unacceptable for us? Like, again, if you remove the titles, a constituent addressed a city council person about something that a city council person said to a room full of constituents. Clear as even if we remove the titles, remove the legacies, remove the faces, and just put it in black and white, like, I wasn't wrong for asking the questions that I was asking, and the information that I was presenting, I was speaking facts. Like when I said, what have you done? And I was asking Jasmine, like, why was it okay for you to take money from the black community but not use your voice for the black community?
Yeah.
Correct me where I stand, because this is your place and this is your space. So those were the things that I went to speak to, and I wasn't done, and I'm not done because there's another meeting on Wednesday. It's the third Wednesday at 6 o'clock or 6:30, and I'm going
Yeah.
back down so I can get my other 5 minutes to let them know how I feel
Right.
based on factual information that is recorded proof. And Mel should not be the president come in 2 weeks. Like it should
Right.
just be. That's completely unacceptable, in my opinion. And there are rules, and there are way things go, and there's organization and way things go. And for the mayor, I don't care if he got 3 months left. For the mayor to condone it, for the rest of the city council to condone it, it shows and it speaks volume to the future of our city of Erie, and it speaks volumes to the leadership of Erie. And I'm a person who lives here, who is concerned about what's going on in Erie. And then for people to say, like, what does this have to do with justice for Cello? This is the system that we are up against, and this is why they feel like this type of behavior is okay. Because if our own president, a black man who looks like us,
Yeah.
can say, I shot a man and got away with it, what do you think a person is going to look like? I mean, feel who doesn't look like us, to where we already feel they believe is justified in their actions and their behavior. So regardless of if you look like me or not, if you're right, you're right. But if you're wrong, I'm allowed to call it out. And if I'm wrong, you're allowed to call it out and correct me where I stand. I didn't put my hands on anybody. I didn't disrespect anybody. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't use a swear word. I just spoke my opinion based on the facts that was provided from the powers that be.
Yep. This is a perfect transition back to the August 20th City Council meeting. I know you had a post and brought to our attention a hot mic. And for those that don't know what a hot mic is when your mic is on, like this mic is on, and I think it's off. I could potentially say some things that gets caught on the mic and you hear it on the audio. So on the video, the audio is hot, and we heard a few choice words that was said on August 20th, and you posted it. You want to talk about what you heard and
So,
what that means to you?
yeah, that was crazy, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
so this was the thing. So somebody has sent, like, after I left the city council meeting yesterday morning,
Mm-hmm.
somebody reached out to me and was like, hey, give me a call. I just want to talk to you about Mel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, yeah, I really don't care, because I get phone calls all the time. I'm like, I really don't. So, but I'm like, I like to entertain, everybody, because, you never know who's going to bring. So I'm like, the person was like, well, my daughter's been watching all these videos and been paying attention and dissecting different things. And there was a meeting at the end of the meeting where she heard Mel say, I'm going to kill you, I believe is what it was.
Yes.
So I'm like, what? Well, I'm like, if that's the case, then, tell her to post it or whatever, she was. So I think the person who I said that to was kind of taken back, because I'm like, pretty much like, all right, whatever, So she was like, I'm going to send it to you so you can see it and you can listen to it.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So she sent me a link and she told me where it started. Boom, I push play. Whoa.
Yeah.
I know I hear what I just, so then this is what I did when I heard that. So I went to the YouTube,
Yes.
the actual city council page, and I went to where the time she told me it started at. So I went from that time, and I just let it play until it stopped, and I'm like, hold on. So I screen recorded it. And when I screen recorded it, I posted and I shared the status. So, and I captioned the status the way I captioned the status because I didn't know who it was directed to. Yep. I don't know why it was said. I don't know when it was said. All I know is it was said, and like you said, it's a hot mic. And when you're an elected official, and this is the thing that I don't understand, like people are like, oh, it's Mel, give him grace. He's been there for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He should know better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You should know better. If we caught Stephen A. Smith saying something like that, or if we caught, we would crucify those people. If we heard somebody say something racist on the mic, let it have been Mayor Schember dropped the M word on accident. Let's just be real, and let's stop being so gracious to people just because they've aged and they've done good. Like, imagine if Mayor Schember would have slipped up and said the M word. Imagine if Britton Davis would have been like, imagine if Britton Davis would have said that when we was in that room.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about, I'm past the whole like race card, black, white thing. Like, that was completely wrong. And when you're doing a job and you have a job, you know that there are things that you're allowed to do and there are things that you are not allowed to do. And I caught a lot of heat for sharing that video, but When you make a statement like I shot a man in the head and got away with it, and then you get caught on the hot mic saying I'm gonna kill you, at this point, I don't really think that there's much that you can say to justify that statement. I don't care if a fly fell on his hand and he slapped it, and that was what he said to the fly. Like, you
Right.
got to choose your words wisely. And if you, they say, with age comes wisdom. You the wisest person in the room. So if you slip like that, you slipped and you fell. Like, flag on
Yeah.
the play, take the penalty. You got to go, bro.
There's a lot of accountability that needs to be had when it comes down to the power of the microphone. Whoever is blessed with a microphone in their hand, the microphone here, I'm very choosy with my words as far as what I say, how I say it, who I'm talking to. It's a privilege to have a microphone and be able to have some type of platform to talk to people, nonetheless conduct business as the president of the city council. You always have to be aware that that microphone can be hot. So if it's something that you need to say later on, that is your prerogative. But if you say it while the mic is hot, then there's an accountability factor that comes with that. And I think discussions like what we're having right now, regardless of what it meant, regardless of who it was for, who it was intended to, um, we are privileged to have this type of discussion because, as you said, if Stephen A. Smith or someone else said something like this, or anyone else, any other of the city council members had a hot mic and said something, we would be discussing it right now as well, and they would be held accountable. And there's no difference here at all. County council meeting next week on Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
Hold on.
You,
I want to go. I want to go back to the hot mic thing though, is
yeah,
because like it stirred up a lot of mess on social media anyway.
yes, it did. It
You
did.
know what I mean? Like it stirred
Yeah,
up a lot of mess to where people like, and then it's even point like my phone was ringing. Mel, for some reason, Mel and Bishop Brock feel like it's important for them to have a conversation with me. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And it's other people who feel like they want to have conversations with me now, and it's people asking me to, stop having so much to say and to take it easy on certain people. And like, I'm not understanding, like, we not talking about human life right now, as to where like people are asking me to be nice as if I've done something wrong. Again, I didn't go down there and ask that man for information, but like, I mean, for me to be antagonized, and then even some of the stuff that you see
yeah,
like on social media today, and just how it's just like splitting up everybody and with everything they have going on, like I feel like we need to be kind of talking about getting that back in order before we talk to the county about the county council meeting, because we need people to keep
yeah,
showing up, and we need people to keep fighting and seeking for justice, and we need to not allow anything or anyone to split us up or to divide us. And like, I'm gonna continue to push forward, you
yep,
know what I mean, as hard as I can, and I'm gonna continue to make noise, and I'm gonna continue to speak truth to power, because there are people who have position who sit in positions who have certain responsibilities, no matter how connected you feel like you are to them, or no
yeah,
matter what they've done for you in the past, or no matter how they've ever like done anything to represent for you. Like it's the now. We talking about the now right now, but it was just a lot of. It got to the point to where it became comical with all of the back and forth stuff going on. Then some of the stuff you see today, to where it's just like, hey, if anybody's screaming and fighting for justice for Cello, why is anybody going against anybody who is screaming and fighting for justice for Cello? At the end of the day, you may not like the way somebody's doing it, but if the
yeah,
awareness is being raised and the attention is being brought, what is the purpose of anybody trying to make somebody feel like they shouldn't be speaking loud enough, or they got to go this way, or they got to go that way, or you got to ask permission? Like, I'm not asking anybody for permission outside of the people that I've spoke to. And I've said from the beginning, like, the whole purpose of me getting myself involved was so that the family could grieve and they didn't have to fight as hard, because I'm sure they felt weak because they just lost a loved one. You know what I mean? When you
yeah,
lose somebody close to you in a situation like this, which I can't imagine, you have to feel weak to a point to where I want somebody to fight for me. You know what I mean? So I've been using my voice, and I've reached out to people to let them know, if you feel like I'm doing too much, you need to check me. I gave them permission to check me. You know what I
hmm,
mean? I've done everything that I feel like I need to do to make sure that I'm not overstepping my boundaries for anything. And it's not even about me explaining myself. It's just like, nobody has to ask permission to seek justice for Marcello Woodard.
that's
Be
right.
tasteful, be respectful, and don't be attacking or antagonizing nobody, and leave people alone, man. Like, That's just how I feel. But for anybody who's standing in the way and acting like they're gonna slow it down, you ain't
Yeah.
gonna slow me down. You ain't gonna change my mind. You ain't gonna stop me. You ain't gonna deter me. So if anything, don't come bothering me because I'm ready to go for whatever. And it's people that I'm stepping for, and it's people that I'm fighting for. That like I'm gonna continue to remain strong and be strong. And I advise people to not mess with me. I'm not messing with anybody else. For everybody who's seeking justice for Marcello, continue to seek justice for Marcello, but don't tell me how to do it, especially if you ain't like people like, oh, bro, you need to be doing this or y'all need to be doing that. Like, it's opportunity for everybody to seek justice and make some noise and request whatever it is that you want to request. So, hey, man.
You know, I want to also echo that, man. Just sticking on the community and the social media aspect and um, the focus of the mission. Um, this is a long process that we're going through. This is a long process that the community is going through. This is a long process that the family is going through. There's a lot of emotions involved. People are hurting right now. People are upset, and we're not getting answers like we want. We're not getting communicated to as quickly as we should be. And you just see like today was a bad day in social media, man. You see people just attacking people for no reason at all. If we're all supposed to be on one mission, which is justice for Cello, then why are we throwing daggers at each other for no reason at all? Just because you don't like how someone else moves or how someone else goes about business, which is justice, doesn't mean that they're not fighting for the same thing that you're fighting for. The only thing that I can think of is if anyone is out there for different agendas, and that's troublesome because July 2nd was a day that we all will remember. It's a historical day. We talked about that before, being the first time that something like this has happened in the state of Pennsylvania, a parole agent killing a parolee. And when I look at social media and I'm looking at some of these comments and stuff, you would think that there is an issue with the community, the people that are fighting for the same damn thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I wanted to, for those people that do not know, yeah, you guys know my last name is Woodard, but how am I connected to the family? Well, Charles Woodard, who is Cello's father, is my second cousin. My dad and him are first cousins. So my grandfather, which was Herman Woodard Sr., is Charles's uncle. Okay, so that's how I'm related and connected to the family. I talked to Charles last week. He loves what we are doing, what we're fighting for, what we're pushing for, and we're trying to get answers for the family and the community. And he loves what we're doing. And so, we just gotta come together as a united front in all aspects of life because people are getting tired. People are ready to attack each other for no reason whatsoever. If we all are together fighting for justice for Cello, then what is the problem? Like,
I
why
think,
do we?
and what I think the problem is too is like because I don't want to place blame on any one person or one any individual, and I
Yeah.
think that's why it's important for them to be giving us some type of information or at least
Yes.
giving us some type of and they were prepared to do that. You know what I mean? We at
Yes.
least have to say that like they were prepared to do that, and I feel
No.
like now that we've made enough noise to where, and when I say enough noise, and when I say we, I mean everybody included. Like now, I'll just to remove the we. Now that
Mhm.
enough noise has been made to where attention is being received, I believe that there are more people who are in positions of power who are understanding what we're saying and why we're saying it. I believe that there are more people who are opening their eyes to our cries and our pain. But I think it's
Yeah.
getting to a point now to where we're so tired of seeking justice and we want somebody to place blame on and we want somebody to poke fingers at is that like it is now getting to the point where some of us are coming for and antagonizing one another. And I don't want to say like that's the way or that's what they want us to do. But what I will say is on a larger scale of things, that's the way I believe the system is designed. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's just a black people, excuse me, thing. I think it's more or less of
Yeah.
a oppressed people thing. Like if you
Hmm.
keep the people confused and you keep them divided, they can't come together to make noise. Because think about how strong this whole movement has been since July 2nd, and think how much stronger it is getting. Like people
Yeah.
may feel like we're not getting enough national recognition, but
Right.
like my phone, I get messages and inboxes from all over just from some of those meetings and stuff like that. And there are a lot of different people who are doing work. But I just
Yep.
feel like a lot
Yep.
of us are
I get
growing
the thing.
tired. A lot of people are growing tired, and we looking for
Yeah.
somebody to blame. And it's like we have to figure out how we can shift back that energy. Like I don't have no problem with nobody as far as when it comes to this. And like I'm not going to be explaining myself to anybody who feels like I'm doing anything wrong. What I would be doing is asking them to continue to seek justice for Marcello
Right.
and to let me know if I'm doing something wrong in a manner that I can correct it, but not to
Yep.
criticize me. Because at this point, I don't care for criticisms, but I encourage more people to speak up and to do more. But I think we getting so tired because it's taking so long, and I don't think a lot of people realize how long this would actually take. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting the DA to come out and say tomorrow this is the answer. I don't expect her to come out until the snow stops falling, if I'm being honest.
Right.
But we
Right.
need to make sure that we're taking care of one another. We're
Correct.
continuing to seek justice, but then in the same sense, we also have to look like we're together and we love one another. Because if they say, okay, we'll give you guys justice, and justice starts with peace, if we're not peaceful amongst one another, we can't even show that we deserve justice. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of us are so wrapped up in our emotions and so caught up in our feelings that we just looking for somebody to blame or somebody to point fingers at. So I understand the frustration. I understand the pain. I understand the subliminals in the comments and the fear and stuff like that. But I just want everybody to understand that this is not going to be easy. And there will be times where we're gonna butt heads, or there are gonna be some people who are gonna fall out or no longer want parts of it, and that's gonna be okay. But for the people who understand what the mission is, for the people who are gonna continue to remain strong, for the people who are front line, back line, sideline, sending information from the side, like whatever the case may be, I encourage those people to stay strong, stay disciplined, stay diligent, and understand that attacks may come. But there's been people who have been attacking me, and now we're like, yo, bro, I see why you're going so hard, and I believe in you, and I want to help you. So for
Right.
anybody who's truly fighting for justice for Marcello, and for
Mhm.
anybody who's truly seeking justice for Marcello, like we don't have to worry about people feeling like we doing the wrong things. And again, when I say we, I mean everybody. We don't have to worry about the naysayers or stuff like that. Like they will go astray when they go astray. But like I'm not giving up. I'm working hard. I'll be in contact with people who are closely connected to Marcello. Um, and I'm gonna continue to do every single thing that's asked of me to do and things that I feel is important for me to do. And I want everybody to do the same. So again, I don't have no problems with nobody. I love everybody, and anybody, if anybody come antagonizing and poking at me, I'm gonna antagonize and then poke back. But I'm still gonna continue to. I'm not gonna go off track. Nobody gonna get me off track,
Yeah.
but ain't nobody finna shake me down either. So that's what we all need to understand. That we need to get back on that. Like at this point, like everybody's allowed to seek justice for Marcello, and we need to be seeking justice straightforward, not sideways, not intertwined, not against one another. Everybody needs to be pushing forward to make sure that we get justice. And justice for me does just not mean an arrest. Even our community coming together to be able to move forward in this process right now is what justice means for me. Like Cello is bringing the community together, and we need to stay strong because we can't go this hard for his name for this. It's only been 2 months, bro.
Yeah.
You can't go hard for 2 months and then fall apart and say we doing it for the sake of his name. Like, if that's the case, then you wasn't doing it for his name. If you feel like you ain't getting enough likes, posts,
Hmm.
comments, shares,
Hmm.
phone calls, text messages, interactions, and now you want to go astray, or you feel like your videos get more watches than his and more phone calls coming to you and people ain't telling you about this, then you wasn't in it for justice. Because if justice means people are calling you and giving you answers, that's justice because you're gonna give us the answers. If justice means um this person's going to be on the news and they're going to speak for the right reasons, then that means justice. But we got to get to the point. I mean, we got to get out of, oh, I want to be the number one justice getter. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's what it's starting to seem like. It's people who want to be the
Yeah.
number one justice getter. And it was never about that with me.
Yeah. And you're 100% right. We're still at the beginning of this thing, guys. It's day 64. I want to remind you, the first case where this has occurred in the United States was on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2024, with Jeremy Sanchez. He was a parolee and he was shot by his parole agent. We're 8 months out right now from that particular date, going on 9 in September here, September 24th. And that case is still under investigation. It's still under investigation. This is going to be a long process. And, I just want to say this because this is truth. This is fact. The minority population in Erie, Pennsylvania is minimal. It's very, very small. Everybody knows everybody. We all can't be complaining with one another if we're after the same thing. It's that we got to come together. It's so easy to see when there's a divide or if someone else has a different type of a goal at this. Your goal should be justice for Cello. Justice for Cello is justice for us all. And that's what we got to remember. We got to keep the main thing the main thing. And if we don't do that, this is not going to look well because in the second case in the country where this has occurred, we are the pinnacle of how we come together as a community. I said this last week that I'm so proud of how Erie's come together and what we're doing and representing. And we got over 5,000 different posts under the hashtag Justice for Cello. Those things mean something because unfortunately, this is going to happen again somewhere else. I hope it never happens again in Erie, Pennsylvania. I really do. But it's going to happen again somewhere else. And people are going to start doing research. And they're going to look at the case in California. And they're going to see how things were handled there by the community. And you can barely see anything. But I'm going to tell you what. You will see Erie, Pennsylvania on the map and how we came together to get justice for Cello. Regardless of how this outcome comes out, we have fought together, and it's like brothers and sisters where Deontay, when we were younger, man, at the basketball court and you get in a fight with your homeboy, and then later on you guys are sharing ice pops.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what this is. We understand that it's a hectic moment because the energy is flowing and the emotions are flowing and we all want the same thing. But do not give people the pleasure of seeing us as a community break because they will not break us. They cannot break us. We're too strong for that. We have to come together and it's got to show. And we got to show that unity with showing justice for Cello. Today was just, it wasn't a good day, but you know what?
And the interesting thing about that though too is like there will be because I've been reading my word and I've talked to my mentors. There will be people who are gonna try to come, tear them, shake it down from the inside as well, people who are connected. So we don't just have to accept anything and everybody just because they look like us or because they've said justice for Cello. You know what I mean? Yep. So and I want people to be aware of that as well. And if it offends somebody, then that might be the person that you need to be aware of. But anybody who's like, for everybody who's watching this, who's closely attached and closely connected, be careful of who you attach yourself and who you connect yourself to, because everybody does not, we know that everybody doesn't have the same interest. Everybody doesn't have the best interest. Right now, what we just want is for people to continuously say justice for Cello. We'll either iron all of that later, or those things will show itself as we move along the journey. But as far as us trying to stop to figure out who's who, we don't have to stop to figure out who's who. They're either going to show themselves, or God will show them, or they're going to get tired of doing it as long as we move forward. So, we need to be a strong community, and we need to stand tall. We need to not separate. We not need to divide. But that does not mean that we have to accept anything. And that does not mean that we have to accept everyone, because there will be some people who are going to say, hey, I'm here to help you. And they're here to keep notes. They're here to keep tabs. They're here to check information and whatever the case may be. So I'm mindful of who I keep around myself. I'm mindful of who I engage with, who I talk to, who I interact with, especially specifically when we talk about the situation with Cello. And I want to encourage every single person who's involved to do the exact same thing, to be discreet with yourself. Don't just be vulnerable to anybody because you and your feelings. Don't just be opening up to anybody. And just because people have a voice and they're screaming justice for Cello does not mean that they have your best interest at heart. So everybody needs to stay protected as we move forward. Just because we're moving forward and we're seeking justice and we're being vulnerable, doesn't mean that we have to be open for more injuries to our already injured. We don't have to add injury to insult. So
Right.
just be mindful of those things as well. We don't have to accept everybody because we're accepting people.
That's true, and we all are moving in different ways. We all should have the same mission and agenda at heart, which is justice for Cello and the Justice for Cello coalition. We're moving and we're trying to shake things up and make things happen. And we had a meeting set up today with the DA. Anybody can set up a meeting for the DA. We actually requested that last week. It was on the news, press release that we had requested it in her response to what the state police released. She just released the same thing, and then we requested a meeting, not really realizing we would get one, and we got one. It was set for today, but because everything kind of just blew up in social media and things were taken out of context, we decided mutually to cancel the meeting and possibly reschedule down the line. We're obviously, we know they're not going to discuss any particulars that have to do with the investigation, but there's a lot of other questions that we can ask that we just want to know so that we can share it to the community as well. And I would encourage you, if you want to get some of those, some of your questions answered, reach out to the DA and try to set up a meeting. Anybody can do that. Anybody and everyone can do that.
You've been saying that.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, because of how things went today, we had to cancel today's meeting and reschedule. And I wanted to bring more information to you. Deontay wanted to bring more information to you, but we're going to do that sometime at a later date. And by all means, if you all set up a meeting with the DA and get some something, they haven't said anything to us. We need them to talk to us,
right, bro. And that's the thing too, man. I'm glad that you said that, because again, like, as this information was being put out publicly and we're saying these are the things that we want. Why won't the DA speak to us? Why won't the DA speak to us? And people were sharing his status, It's only right that they respond. So once the DA responds and they say, okay, we'll speak, and it's like, okay, well, don't speak to them, or don't speak to them, It's like, okay, now it's to the point to where she like, okay, who I'm supposed to speak to? You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the DA works for the people.
Absolutely.
Let's make that clear. I want to make that very clear.
Yep.
So the DA doesn't have to talk to one specific person over the other.
Right.
She can make a decision as far as who she's going to speak to and who she does not speak to. But any single person who lives in the county of Erie can request a meeting and see if she's willing to speak. It's up to her what information she provides. So if people are requesting to speak to the district attorney and she's willing to sit down and have a conversation with the people who are requesting to have that meeting, then by all means, sit down and have that meeting.
Do it, please.
Aim from that. It's not she's not going to be offering any money. She's not going to give any information on the case. She might be just doing it to save time, to show face, to say, hey, now they can't say that I have not come forward because we've been putting your face on blast and on blast and on blast. And at the time her face was being put on blast, and at the time her name was being put on blast, nobody was saying, oh, we ain't putting her name on blast. We ain't putting her face on blast. That's not what we want. But then when she finally responds to the people who have been putting her name and her face on blast, now people are saying that's not what we want. At the end of the day, we, as the citizens who live in Erie County, want the district attorney to do her job to keep the people of Erie County safe. So there is no who she should or who she can or who she can't talk to. She can talk to anybody she chooses. Every single person who lives here has a right to know this information, and anybody can request a meeting. She gets to pick and choose who. I would prefer her make a press release so this type of stuff doesn't happen, because again, this is what we've been asking for her to speak to the public, because it is splitting people up. But then at the same time, to see some people be upset because she was willing to have a meeting, and it's like, oh, well, she wasn't talking to me, so she ain't gonna talk to nobody.
Right.
I mean, I guess everybody ain't moving on the same accord, and that's what we need to clear up, because there are secrets here. Like, nobody's telling anybody anything, and we the people, we the public have released the most information. We the people, we the public we released the video. And when I say we, I mean everybody.
Yes.
From sharing stuff, commenting, reaching out to different news stations, reaching out to we have made the most noise, we have gathered the most information, we have done the most work, so we're gonna continue to work. I'm not sure why anybody would be upset with anybody wanting to continue to do work. And if
Correct.
now people feel, and this is another thing, this is what I get from that, and this is why I hope that the district attorney decides to just speak to the public, because
Yes.
now that she has shown that she is accessible, and she
Yes.
has shown that people can reach out to her, and she's
Hmm.
willing to have a meeting with them, she has set a precedent.
Right.
Because
Right.
again, there is no set up or organization that's like, you have to talk to this specific group, you
Right.
have to talk this. There's no set up organization. What she did was she showed that I'm willing to speak to people who are willing to
Yes.
knock on my door. And we was knocking and knocking and knocking and knocking and she finally opened the door. So if
Yep.
anybody feels some type of way, or if anybody feel like they deserve those conversations as well, then I'll come knock on the door with you. Because again, it's
Yeah.
not a I want to do it better than y'all, or y'all do it better than us. So if anybody feels like, hey, I want to talk to the DA too, and I need somebody to help me get there, then please feel free to reach out to me on my inbox, put it on my wall, call my
Yep.
cell phone and say, hey, I would like to have a conversation with her too. What documents do I need to form? I mean,
Yep.
forms do I need to fill out, send it, or whatever the
Yep.
case may be. I've been saying since day one, or since the district attorney was involved, she needs to speak to us, and we all need to be knocking on her door. So we're not gonna make this exclusive thing like we exclude anybody.
Right.
Nobody's keeping any secrets. Nobody's trying to hide anything at all. She works for the. That's what I understand as far as like civics.
Hmm.
I understand
Yes.
who works for who, and the people who
That's
work
right.
for the people, they have to do their job, and we're gonna continue to push for them to do so. And we're gonna ask for them to do so.
Right. And just to kind of clarify, I want to put this out there too. The Justice for Cello Coalition, we're a support group of people that jumped off the porch and said, hey, I want to help. That's it. We're not a 501c3. We're not an LLC. We don't fundraise. We're not looking for money. We've never even discussed money. We're talking about justice for cello with a few individuals that are like minded that want the same thing, which is justice for cello. And we have expertise in different areas that we could bring to the table. Hence, why you're listening and watching my podcast right now. This is one of my expertise is talking to the people. This is one of Deontay's expertise is talking to the people. And we're utilizing our platform in order to do so. And we have people that are listening and we're passing on information. This is what we do. We have others that are good at note taking and putting together agendas and things. We all blend together and decide to do things together as a support group to support the family, which is my family. Okay, so I saw a comment that nobody in the Justice for Cello Coalition is a family member. My name is Craig Woodard. Nice to meet you. I am part of the family. I'm not the immediate family, but I have the same blood that goes through my veins, went through Cello's veins as well. So I am superiorly connected to this process and I want it done right. And I want to make sure that everyone is clear about what our intentions are. Our intentions are to fight for justice for Cello, to get the family answers. And I want to let you know that this meeting was partially canceled because attorneys were called and all kind of stuff, because the way that it was misconstrued on social media was like the DA was going to give us her decision before everybody else. That's not going to happen, y'all.
Never. I
That's
wouldn't
not
even
going
want
to
that.
happen.
I wouldn't even
We
want that.
we were meeting with her to discuss other things that she can talk about, the investigation she can't. And so we had to pivot because people can't trust that we're doing the right things, which is trying to fight for justice for Cello. You know, it doesn't matter who speaks with her. Somebody speak with her and then tell me what she says. That's what we want to do for you as well. And whoever can accomplish that, kudos, because that's what we're fighting for. You know what I mean? Like I just today just blew my mind that we, you know, we had to cancel, man, because people on their own agenda, taking things out of context, and all these attorneys getting called like she's making a decision today. She's not going to tell a group before she tells the family. I don't know. This is just it just blows my mind that this is where we're at. We're one community, we're one team, we have one goal, and that is justice for Cello. And how we come
Right,
about that is how we come about that, man.
right,
But you got to trust that we're doing the right things, and we're moving in the right directions because everybody is professional in a certain topic. And when you blend these people together, we can make the right decisions to get the answers that we need. That's not going to jeopardize this investigation at all. Deontay, some parting words. I know you wanted to say something else about that as well. Give it to me, man.
yeah. No, I mean, because I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it just seems like it's a simple conversation that's difficult because people don't want to stop, sit down, and listen.
Right.
You know what I mean? But again, this is written. You know what I mean? As far as like the jobs of
Yeah.
the city council people aren't subject to a certain district or area. They're subject to the entire city. When you make comments like that, you need to be held accountable. Like, so people can stop reaching out to me and asking me, "Hey, are you gonna sit down and talk to Mel?" People can stay out of the comments saying, "Oh, chill on Mel," all of that. Like, I don't owe that man no apology. I don't owe him no explanation. I didn't say that stuff. He said that stuff. So if they feel like somebody should be apologizing, then maybe he should be. They feel like somebody should be explaining, then maybe he should be. But nobody else needs to reach out to me and ask me to chill, relax, or take it easy. There's a county council meeting on Tuesday at the courthouse. We going down there. Then there's a city council meeting on the third Wednesday. Like, and I'm gonna keep coming back. So, like, at this point, I mean, you can either chill on me or you can deal with me. I mean, and deal with the people who support me. But we done playing, man. So this wasn't nothing like everybody got all up in arms, like, "Oh, I can't believe that happened," or "That was sad." Like, we just getting started, man. Like, cause
Yeah.
I'm tired of being patient. You know what I mean? Like, I've been patient. You know what I mean? And we've been nice. Like he said, he made those comments on the first city council meeting, which was
Hmm.
about 2 months ago, and we
Yeah.
let it ride for 2 months. But when we asking for help, and then he being quiet, and then here, this is the thing, right? Jasmine Flores got on Facebook and said, "I'm not going to say the names of the people who I'm addressing to get empowered." And then when I start calling them out at the city council meeting, they told me don't say no names.
Yeah.
We have yet to hear Kevin Seeliger and Aaron, Osborne names from them. So it's more or less
Yeah.
like now we playing the we don't say names game. So what we need people to do is understand and realize that they trying to shush us, they trying to hush us. You know what I mean? They trying to
Yeah.
not get us to not say names, and that's the last thing that I'm gonna do. So for people who are trying to silence me or asking me to chill or asking me to stop, "Oh, that's my uncle, that's my dad, that's my granddad," well, then go talk to him, man. Like,
Yeah.
don't talk to me, because me personally, I don't care. Like, a life was taken here. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
life was taken here, and people aren't making enough noise. And the reason why people aren't making enough noise is because it's money that's going to be getting passed around after this election passes. And
Yeah.
nobody wants to be left out. Nobody wants to say the wrong thing. Nobody wants their people or their person removed off the board. So everybody's keeping quiet. They stay in cahoots. Like, it's crazy, man, because again, we're all the concerned people in the city of Erie. But this is what I will say to you, right?
Hmm.
It's about to be the beginning of the fourth quarter, which means the fiscal year, and all of that stuff. So it's money, like, it's the fourth quarter of the year that's ending, but it's the second quarter of the fiscal year that'll be ending.
Right.
So it's about to be halftime.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So people are afraid that they're going to be potentially losing their money or losing their funders or losing their donors and grants and stuff like that. So people don't want to speak to the truth to power. So it's a lot of people who won't speak out. It's a lot of people who, got issues or got problems or whatever the case may be. But, like, I don't care about none of that. Like, I'm not entertaining none of that. I'm not entertaining nobody, nobody
Hmm.
mess with nothing.
Let me. I want to say this. I have known Mel Witherspoon since I was 14 years old. I'm 51 now. Since I was 14 years old, love Mel. Always loved Mel. Was a part of his league at Spoons Court. Um, he knows my dad. I just always grew up knowing Mel. He refed a few games, that I played in and stuff. And Mel's always been kind to me and my family. I am a journalist at heart. It's what I did for a living. And when you say things on the record, and you're a public figure, there's accountability that needs to be had, and that is why I am discussing what was said a couple months ago at first at the city council meeting, and also the hot mic situation. And I feel I have enough respect for him, because I know him on a different level than you do, Deontay, to still talk about the accountability of the position that he's in and what he should and should not do. As a journalist, a former journalist, we don't just talk about one side of things. We talk about both sides of things,
That
and
part.
that's why we're discussing this tonight. I want everybody to know, love Mel to death, but accountability has to be held based off of when you say some things. Um, what else you got, man? We've been on 55 minutes now. We've been giving it to the people,
Listen, man,
explaining
you know me, I
everything.
can go, bro. Like I can go because I feel again, like I said, it's more people. Like I'm curious to know, like I would like to know what people think of Mo Troop and what he's done or his lack of speaking up because he always sit there silent. And we had a time where like I've been in meetings where we talked about this stuff years and years and years ago. And he came to a meeting, he presented some information. And 5 years later, they arrested a lot of young boys, and I brought it back to his attention. But like
Mm-hmm.
Mo really don't say nothing, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
I was saying the other day, like he has a platform to where like he you in a band, you know what I mean? Like you play the music and all of that, and
Yeah.
you've been one of the hottest cover bands in the city of Erie. Like you have yet to say a word. And
Yeah.
then it was just something they just had on it. It was a big fight broke out outside of the school, down the street from Erie House. So we're not gonna blame it on the school. That's
Right.
what I don't want to do is pull that in there. But we know this information, we knew this type of stuff was gonna come, and he knew it because he's connected on the city council level. So it's more or less like I'm wondering what is he doing? Who is he
Right.
connecting to try to work on some of this, to try to prevent some of this? And if he is doing those things, why is it such a secret? I would also like to see some of those city council people go to the school board meetings. And some of the school board the school board people go to the city council meetings, and the more or less like, how are we going to start making sure that our elected officials are intertwining one another to realize that it's a ladder to the way that we're going to live around here, and they need to be knowing what's going on because again, this is going to impact the schools. This is going to impact the young people. This is going to impact the neighborhoods, and it's going to get to a point to where people are going to start picking sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And what does that look like, and what does that turn into? So it's more or less like Mo, and I think that he's there for a reason. So I'm not saying that he doesn't do anything, he doesn't add value. I would like to know what he does and if he's utilizing the value that he can bring to get to the school. Like it was a city council meeting. It was like 200 people there. You go to a school board meeting, it's 10 people there.
Yeah.
How do we leverage that? How do we use Mo Troop to get these same people to
Yeah.
have the same concerns for their children, our children, or the youth as we do as this? Because there's a disconnect, and even like myself included. So it's like, how do we take advantage of or utilize this situation to pull everybody together, to bring a community up, to build a community up, so we don't have to deal with this type of stuff? So he serves in that position. I'm not exactly sure what Ed Brzezinski does or what population or pocket that he represents, but he didn't live that long from being no fool. So I'm sure he has some type of wisdom, some type
Yeah.
of law. He used to be an educator. So I'm sure he can teach some adults or whatever the case may be, but they sit. I've been in meetings with them, as they sit and they joke and they laugh like everything's a game, not understanding how I don't think that they understand how it feels to be an oppressed, impoverished person because they sit in them highlighted seats and positions in areas so small that it's easy to beat a man with nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't realize that when they're sitting up there hee ha ha talking on hot mics and sending text messages, when we in meetings, that it's offensive. You know what I mean? It hurts my feelings anyway to know that you got a room full of people who are crying and who are seeking attention and seeking help, and y'all up here playing around. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. And like even now, like what's interesting, cuz like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep it 100 right now. Like they're going in the comments right now.
Yeah.
So like
I'm
this is
looking
what I
at it
don't
too.
understand is like that we're not even going to acknowledge that, but that's child's play to Who is that? Both of them. I ain't even gonna say. Now we gonna get to the point of not saying names. Like, don't come on here with that. And that's the issue that we having right now. And that's why people feel like there's so much separation, because it just seems like it's people who want limelight, and it seems like it's people who trying to big themselves up. And like, it's getting to the point to where I'm tired of that. And I don't want my name connected to, associated with, or affiliated with anybody who's trying to just big themselves up, or to make themselves look popular, or to get likes and shares, or to feel important. So y'all need to cut that childish out in the comments, because that's not what we're here for. And that's one of the main reasons why we had the issues that we had today. You know what I mean? And that's another issue with our community. Like, there's so many people who got mouths and no brains, bro. And we need help. We need help from people who can help us, who can identify this, because it's people who calling me and saying, what's up with this person, that person? And they sitting back watching people be messy. We need to be reaching out to them. And then there's some people who are being messy who need to just shut the fuck up sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's getting to the point, bro, like, I know who I am. I am somebody. I'm an educated man. I work hard for the things that I have and the things that I'm going to have. And what I'm not going to do is connect myself with people who acting like fools, bro, because it's going to make me look bad. And when I start calling them out, it's going to make them look worse, because can't nobody tarnish my name. So when we talking about fighting for justice for Marcello, let's just talk about fighting for justice for Marcello. Stop making it about yourself. Stop making it about your name. Stop making it about your platform or your mission, because at this point, I don't care about that no more, bro. Like, an innocent man was killed dead. There are people who are putting their livelihoods on the line, their safety on the line, their reputation on the line. And then you got people acting like clowns and knuckleheads because they want to feel popular or important. Like, first of all, who were you before this? Who are you now? And who are you going to be when this is all said and done? I've been talking like this, bro. And now it's to the point, like you said, we got time. Like, this been me. Like, when I ran for election, everything that took place with this, these were some of the things that I talked about. I've been going to city council meetings for years speaking, county council meetings for years speaking, school board meetings. I've been an advocate for my community forever. And like, I'm getting tired of seeing people acting like, oh, they do this, or they know how to do right, or they know how to do it better, when like, yo, who gonna do it like I'm gonna do it, bro? Who is it to try to tell me what I need to be doing, and gonna try to tell me which way I should be moving? So it's getting to the point now to where, like, I'm gonna start calling people out, and I don't care what you look like. I don't care how cool we is, how comfortable you think you is with me. Like, if you ain't rocking with getting justice for Marcello, then please don't be in my timeline or in my comments or nothing that I gotta say, because I'm finna start just checking people until we get back on track, man. Like, I'm done being nice. I'm done being patient. I'm tired of sitting back watching the mess, and then even watching people connect or associate my name to this, to where I don't have to, like, I'm just going to start announcing, yeah, no, that's not my thought. That's not my idea. I didn't say that. I don't know what's up with them. And I want people to start calling the people out who they feel like is doing this, and start checking them too, man, because it's getting to the point, bro, where it's ridiculous and it's disgusting. And some of y'all are starting to look just as bad as these elected officials. And now it's to the point to where y'all just making noise to have lips. So please, like, stop associating me with the mess. When all of these subliminal posts, when they say these people going hard for no reason, like, check my history, go through my stories, my reels, all of that. Like, I've been on the positive kick. I've been on the power for the people kick. I've been speaking truth to power. I've been advocating for my community, marching and stepping since I've been living here my entire life. So ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. And like, at this point, like, y'all need to chill with all of that. So again, when you see me and you see me grab a microphone, or you see me make a post and it's Justice for Cello, know it's genuine. When you see me checking somebody and I'm telling somebody that you ain't right, know it's genuine. You see me going back and forth in the comment section, don't think that I'm being petty or trying to build no reputation, because it ain't nothing that I can get from this, bro. I can't personally gain anything from this. Everything that I'm going to get is going to come from God. But I'm sick of people acting petty. I'm sick of people asking me questions about these folks acting petty, when, like, being a daughter, shut up and go back to where you came from, man. If that means you got to go back to work, go back to work. If that means you got to go crawl back in a hole, go back to your boyfriend, your girlfriend, go back to being a social media influencer or a clown. Wherever it is that you got to go to get out of my way and to get out of our way for the people who fighting justice for Cello, then get out the way. It's people that's grieving. You know what I mean? Etcetera talking about her son every day. Little talking about the relationship that we had. I haven't had a conversation with Malachi in quite some time, but I'm sure him and his sister is hurt. I'm sure I see Mr. Charles almost every single day in the gym. I don't care what relationship he had. That was still his son. He is hurting. So I'm not finna keep arguing and fighting back and forth with nobody. The people who are hurting and grieving I've had conversation with the majority of them, and they said keep doing your thing, and I'm gonna keep doing my thing. And for everybody else who ain't doing your thing, I'm about to start checking y'all so we can get on track what we need to get on, because y'all looking like fools, and y'all got people asking me questions about why y'all looking like fools. And the last thing that I'm gonna do is look like a damn fool while I'm trying to seek justice for somebody, especially when I've been doing this since I've been a grown ass man. So it gets to the point now to where like I'm done with that, man. Don't call
Yeah.
me, text me, trying to subliminally message me or none of that, because I'm going to put you on blast, and then I'm going to continue to move forward, and I'm going to continue to keep doing my thing, bro. Like, and I know I just went in, but it's like it gets to the point to where you get tired of it, man. And I don't like, don't let these degrees and this big smile and this education fool you, man. Like, I got a smart ass mouth, man. I got a smart mouth, and I'm not no dummy. I'm not no idiot. I come with facts. You know what I mean? I'm quick with it, so I'm gonna hit you back with the facts, and I'm gonna make you feel like shit if y'all keep playing with me, man. Like, you already done seen me. I done been to the city council meeting and did it. Done been to the county council meeting and did it. I done been in multiple churches and talked to multiple clergy people and did it. Any meeting you think of, I'm gonna speak my mind, and people always like, yo, be careful with him because he gonna run his mouth. So I'm not gonna ask y'all. I'm gonna encourage y'all to stop playing with me, and then I'm gonna dare y'all to try to play with me, because at this point, it's getting ridiculous. So stay out of my comments. And if you see me engaging with somebody else and I'm talking justice for Cello, don't antagonize me in the comments. Don't come in there trying to build no clout or build your name or take no shots at me, because I'm done playing and I'm done being nice, cuz that's just how I feel, man.
I feel you, cuz. Hey, I couldn't have said it any better. Here we are, um, breaking the air, trying to put the community back together, let them know we're out for one mission, and we got comments going on that's the total opposite of what we're talking about, man. And this is how, like, how much can you say to somebody about something? They acknowledge that they hear you, and then they continue to do what they wanted to do anyway, and it is jeopardizing the entire mission for everybody. And that's a problem. And I don't want to be associated with that either. You know, um, we all have a love for Cello and the entire family, and that's why we're here. We're on an hour and 7 minutes talking to y'all because we love Cello and we want justice. That's why we're here. Like, there's no other reason. And it is only day 64. And that may seem like a long time to some of you, but it's only day 64. I gotta remind you, the case in California is on 8 to 9 months, and the investigation continues. This is a marathon and not a race. And we cannot every week show some type of divide because somebody wants to be number one, or somebody wants to break this news, or someone wants to break that news. That's not what we're about. We're about trying to get justice for Cello. We're sharing information for people. We're spitting facts. We're bringing the best that we have to the table to assist the family in what we do. And if people aren't down with that because they don't like that, because they're not a part of it, they can be a part of whatever they want to do, and we can't control that. But there should be no animosity if we're all out for justice for Cello. It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Cause I mean I don't know. I thought, for a minute we had cleared some things up, and then it took off again, man. So
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, when
this
is
is gonna
enough
keep
enough,
us.
man?
It's gonna keep us on podcast duty a couple times a week though, because we always will have something to talk about, and hopefully we can get people back on the right path, and hopefully more people are listening to the positive message that we're trying to um, uh, display, opposed to all the negativity that people want to just put out there, man. Because some people believe negativity, and it's ridiculous. Unassociate yourself with that. Please follow our lead, follow what we're doing. Um, and listen, Deontay, I want to give you just some last words here before we wrap up. Um, what else do you need to say to the people going into the weekend here, man?
Hey, man, you keep telling me this, and my last minute keep turning to a last statement, last statement, last statement. You know what I mean? So, like,
That's because I
All
know
I'm gonna
you
say
got
is,
more.
man, it's all love for everybody. I don't want no problems with nobody. If you come looking for problems though, for me, you're gonna find them. I'm fully committed to justice for Cello. Nobody's gonna make me go astray. Nobody's gonna make me feel like I need to stop talking or I need to stop doing my thing. Like I said, I've been doing this prior to this situation took place. It's unfortunate that it did happen to Cello. You know what I mean? If it had been anybody else, I still would have been out here fighting hard like this. So, you know what I mean? It gets to the point to where like I truly don't care to hear the opinions. I mean, then even when I'm at the meetings, I understand Robert's rules of order. When I'm out of order, I can be corrected. But if not, I'm gonna keep coming. So I'm going to the county council meeting, and I don't get up and speak until I feel moved. I don't write speeches. I don't go in there on no script. So I sit up and I feel like when it's time to speak, I speak what I have to speak. I know the people who are sitting in those positions. I understand the expectations of their jobs. I understand how they're supposed to hold down the people. I understand the power that they have with using their voice and using their resources. So I'm gonna continue to put pressure on them, and I'm gonna ask people to keep coming to those meetings, keep using your social media, keep using your voice. Everybody has a role, everybody has a job. So not one person is gonna do the exact same thing, but everybody can do something. So I mean, antagonize, poke, pick. Just don't antagonize, poke, pick with me because it's to the point now that we're like I said, I told somebody in the room, like we put it all on the line. And I'm not exactly sure what everything on the line looks like to everybody else, but I know what put it on the line looks like to me because I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I have the opportunity to win, which means I also know what I have the opportunity to lose.
Yeah.
So at this point, like, since I put it all on the line and you know what I mean, like people want to, come however which way they want to come. If they're not coming with me and they coming for me, like I'm ready. I'm protected by God. I'm supported by the people. I fear no man but God. So I'm not really worried about who gonna feel like they're gonna do what to me. And
Yeah.
there's nothing that you're gonna be able to say to me to throw me off my square, man. Like I'm sharp. I'm sitting in a lot my library. Like it's books all around me. So I'm gonna study and read it before I respond. And I got a solid team of mentors who I consult with before I make any decision. So I'm not thinking irrationally. I'm not acting off emotion, and I'm not making this about me. It's justice for Cello, and I want everybody to be as sharp and as solid as strong as they can possibly be, to not be deterred, to not be deflected, and to not let anybody throw them off their square. Because at this point, man, we y'all better keep fighting for justice for Cello at this, especially for those of y'all who's going hard at me. The second you take your foot off the gas, it's my turn to take. You don't get to poke the bear, and the bear don't poke back. So the second that you slow down with your seek for justice,
Yep.
Deontay gonna be knocking on your door like, excuse me, can you come back outside and participate with us because we ain't get justice yet and we need more voices. So for those of you who antagonized me and wanted to talk to me and had the conversations, but like legitimately, somebody told me today, and I ain't gonna say their name because you know how that go. People don't. It was a whole meeting about me. Yo, we gotta get Deontay to chill. He's saying too much. Like, Mel only got a couple more months to go. What can we do to get him to slow down? What can we get him to do to chill on the elected officials or at least Mel until like, listen, bro. For those of you who are brainstorming how to shut me up or how to keep me quiet, like this, you got to talk to God to get me. Even like what's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's like my aunt Gwen hit me, and everybody know I love Aunt Gwen. You know what I mean? So she
I
called
love
me.
Gwen too.
Yeah, she called me fishing around a little bit, and she like, well, Deontay, how we gonna handle this? And I'm just like, hey, Aunt Gwen, rules is rules.
Yeah.
The mic was on.
Yeah.
The rules is
Yeah.
rules. The mic was on. It's not my job to clear that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, rules is rules. The mic was on.
Yep.
She like, did he say it to you? Somebody said he said it to your nephew. And I will say that I was not in that room when that statement was made.
Yeah.
I do not know why he said it.
Right.
I do not know who he said it to. I do not know if he was speaking about me or not. What I do know is he did not directly say that to me. Somebody sent that to me, and that is what the status is that I shared. It is captioned.
Yes.
I'm very strategic with the way that I use my words. It is captioned the way it's captioned for a reason. But at the end of the day, y'all can stop sending my loved ones to me. Y'all can stop sending people who y'all think my friends to me to pick my brain or to see if I'm gonna be quiet. Like, if you want to know what's on my mind, or if you want to know what I'm thinking, or if you want to know what I'm gonna do next, like the next place that I will be for sure is at the county council meeting to speak my piece. I might go Facebook Live. Or you know how you do, you get on the show and you want to invite me, I'm gonna hop on the show. But
You
at
know
the
how
end
we
of the
do.
day, ain't nobody stopping me, ain't nobody slowing me down, man. I'm powered by God, I'm supported by the people, and my steps has already been ordered and my path is already written. So if anything happens to me, like it was meant to be.
Hey, I'm looking down right now, and it looks like we got more viewers viewing the podcast than the Cowboys right now. Just wanted to say
The
that.
count, I didn't even
Sorry,
see, I didn't even check the score.
sorry, Cowboys fan. You know I'm a Steelers fan. Deontay, it's been a pleasure again, once again, having you on and being the voice of the people, man, and bringing all your passion and truth and facts to the table. I want to wrap up by saying we love you all. We are on the same mission. The mission is justice for Cello. Do not forget the mission. Do not forget the mission. This is why we are here. This is why we are riding. And the race has just begun. Day 64 today. We got a long way to go. Pace yourself. Be with us. Be smart. Be strategic. And follow us because we're rolling through this thing and we're bringing strategy along with us. For Deontay Cooley, I'm Craig Woodard. This was Etcetera with the Woodards, episode 29. Please subscribe to my podcast on my YouTube channel at Etcetera with the Woodards. Share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, man. And we'll see you Sunday night at 8:30. D, you gonna be with me at 8:30?
Hold on, but hey, dog, my Niners play it there now. Check me. I'll be on it. I'll be with you.
As the sun goes down a little quicker, we're going to creep this up a little bit. Like, pretty soon we'll be at 8 o'clock and we'll get some more football time now that it's football season. 8:30. We'll see you guys on Sunday night. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to you.